Welcome, everybody. Good evening. Thank you for coming. We are here at SV2's Fall Gathering, The Power of Voice. I'm Jen Ratay, Executive Director of the Silicon Valley Social Venture Fund, commonly known as SV2.
And I'm Bill Brownell, SV2 Partner and Board Chair. And Jen and I are really thrilled to see all of you here this evening. Thanks for coming. We have a lot of SV2 partners in the audience. We have our grantees, some of whom you'll hear from shortly, and other community leaders and friends. So thank you for coming.
Tonight is about spending time together as a community, catching up with old friends and meeting new ones who share common values, passions, and a drive for impact. We'll also highlight some of SV2's upcoming programs, and you'll meet SV2's newest inspiring grantees, Literacy for Environmental Justice, Silicon Valley Urban Debate League, and Global Press Institute. Each of these SV2 grantees helps others realize and amplify the power of their voices, a critical ingredient in social change. These SV2 grantees are improving lives here in the Bay Area and around the world, and we look forward to inviting them up on stage very soon. In the spirit of amplifying your own voices for good tonight, I invite you to take out your phones or your tablets if you have them, and feel free to tweet. I've already seen some of you do that. Our Twitter handle is SV2 Partnership, and then our hashtag for tonight is Power of Voice. Those are both in your program.
So SV2 is a community of about 200 individuals and families who come together to find and invest in promising social ventures. And as a part of the process, we also improve our ability around giving and our learning around giving. Working together, we're proud to have funded over 80 social ventures and nonprofits over the last decade and a half, many of whom have gone on to achieve significant scale and impact in the work they do.
Just this past year, with the leadership of many in the room tonight, I see SV2 awarded nearly $450,000 in grants and impact investments. Woohoo! It was a record year in terms of partner numbers and also our grant dollars, so thank you. Just as important, SV2 partners supplemented SV2's grants with hundreds of thousands of dollars of additional follow-on funding, and then also gifted their time and talents, providing our grantees over 1,000 hours of skilled volunteer support. Our current grantees served more than 100,000 individuals and families, helping them improve their lives through work that, for examples, expanded access to quality preschool in San Mateo County, increased the literacy and well-being of children and families in the Mayfair neighborhood of East San Jose, sustainable businesses and livelihoods for those living in poverty in rural Africa. Again, just a few examples of the ways that our current grantees are improving lives of so many, and at the same time, creating powerful, proven models. You should have on your chair our hot off the press impact report, so you can read more about our grantees and our impact there. It looks like this.
So by learning together, SV2 partners change as well. While we impact the grantees, we also change. Much as I have changed over 4 years in working at SV2 as a partner and doing work here. And as this chart shows, a partner survey from last spring, partners feel that as they work with SV2, they become more knowledgeable about community needs. They become more strategic, more confident, and more collaborative in their philanthropic giving. And also they accelerate their personal journeys towards being social impact leaders. And speaking of social impact leaders, I'd like to take a moment to thank my fellow SV2 board members and other partner leaders who power SV2. Pictured here. SV2 is truly partner powered, and we could not do the work that we do without these partner leaders.
So what's coming up in the year ahead for us? We're pleased to be offering a diverse suite of experiential giving programs. There's a one-pager that looks a little like this at the registration table that you can take as your cheat sheet on your way out. Those of you, some of you probably know our impact investment round and our education learning year have just kicked off this month, so it's not too late to get involved and jump in. In November, we're pleased to offer our first of 2 fast-paced lightning grant rounds, and these will be focused for the first time on affordable housing in the Bay Area, critical issue. Then in January, we'll launch our classic grant round focused on another new issue area to SV2, economic opportunity and employment. We'll also be offering our Teens Philanthropy Program, our SV2 Kids Family Service opportunities, and frequent learning programs on a whole host of topics, including fascinating yet sobering new research on the state of Silicon Valley philanthropy and nonprofits, how each of us can redefine power and privilege in the funder-fundee relationship, and how we can invest our money in ways that are increasingly aligned with our core values. Just a few examples.
Another exciting development at SV2 this year is the launch of the Visionary Leadership Circle, a new generation of major donor partners who are investing in SV2's mission, our sustainable future, and the power of our collective impact. I'd like to recognize these early founding members for their foresight, generosity, and belief in SV2, and also the pioneering longer-term major donor partners of SV2, which are shown on the right-hand side. This group should help to sustain SV2 into the future and ensure our success. If any of you are interested in the Visionary Leadership Circle, please follow up with myself or Tony or Kelly or Lisa.
Great. All right.
As part of the number of SV2 program innovations that Jen talked about, one important one is around impact investing. Last year, we did a pilot round on impact investing, which was aimed at extending partner learning into this important area of social impact with new financial tools and new targets in terms of the social enterprises that we look at. We had a pilot round where we had a fairly large group of partners that came together. We researched these social enterprises, we assessed them, we debated them, and we ultimately made 3 impact investments, 2 in the education space and 1 in the area of climate change. So we'd like to take a moment and hear from our initial round of impact investees.
Learning Genie.
I love the Learning Genie app because when I am not here with my daughter, I see exactly what she's doing. What parent wouldn't feel happy when you're seeing your kid playing, smiling, having a good time, learning all the things that are important?
Thanks to Learning Genie, I believe that my son knows the body parts because when I play that song at home, he points to the body parts.
Learning Genie has definitely improved the communication with our parents because we're able to have daily reports sent to them on diapers, meals, food, nap time, even their moods, as well as activities that we do throughout the day. So they're able to see pictures and documentation and different things that they're doing while they're away from them.
I love Learning Genie.
Hello. All right. Your teacher tells me you've been learning about soil. Is that right?
Yeah.
Good. Well, I'm here to talk to you about soil. Look at that. Have you ever seen a green rock like that?
No. No
And
one.
look, this rock has other rocks inside it.
Awesome. I've seen those.
And this one came out of a volcano. And then look at this one.
When you get to high school, sometimes we're having to break through barriers that were started many years ago. They're still stuck in that mode of, I'm not very smart, I can't do this, or who needs math.
What does the output need to be?
I decided to participate in the NEPRIS program because I can't take very many field trips. And it seemed like this would be a great opportunity to actually talk to people in the field.
We want to show you how pneumatics is used in the assembly of cars and trucks.
Again, here is the example for a pneumatic device.
There's a huge difference what you read in books and when you see a live example of a pneumatic application or using pneumatic drives to move things or to lift things, gives you a better feel, and you see the theoretical aspect come to life. If I can even motivate one kid to become an engineer in the near future, it means I've done my job.
And that's where NEPRIS comes in. We have created an online marketplace that makes it easy for companies to do education outreach. We're providing teachers access to professionals. NEPRIS matches classroom requests to the skills of professionals, enables live interactions with industry experts, provides access to archived session videos, and is building an active online community of industry and education users.
The problem that we want to solve is to make it really simple for teachers to be able to reach out to industry to create those millions of moments of discovery. What NEPRIS does is really important for kids today. They don't know what really happens in the workplace. Why do they have to learn calculus? Who uses it to do what, right? So if we are not making those connections, we're not influencing the kids to make the right choices.
Hi, I'm Christine, and I'm the CEO and co-founder of PastureMap.
Hi, I'm George Lee, CTO and co-founder, and here are my chickens. So I used to be a tech lead and manager at Twitter and Google, focusing on analytics, and I started to learn about the different problems in food and agriculture and wanted to direct my skills towards solving some of these challenges. And I've also been investing in different food-related businesses and entered the U.S. State Innovation Challenge, developing software for farmers and winning the grand prize earlier this year. And I'm excited to work with Christine now to develop better software for ranchers.
Similarly, I had a business background at McKinsey and at KKR, building operations efficiency software for their portfolio companies. And I have struggled with food allergies all my life. The farmers in my local food shed are really important to me, and so a couple of years ago I founded PastureMap to help small and medium local farmers scale up their operations and be more efficient. And we're really excited about being investees of SV2, not just because of the dollars, but the beyond the dollar support. For me, even though I have an MBA from Stanford, it's pretty great to have such senior executives around the table helping me with everything from strategy to go-to-market, figuring out our break-even plan, and helping me set up my board. So just having very senior executives with business experience around the table who are also aligned with our values is a pretty rare combination even in Silicon Valley. So we're really pleased and honored to be part of the SV2 community.
It's a great group, and I know for a fact, like Tony over there, SV2 Partners really enjoyed the process of getting to know these companies. We learned a lot, and from the board perspective, the number one goal really last year on this new initiative was return on learning. So very much achieved this bar, and we're proud to have these companies in our portfolio, really excited about their social and environmental impact. It's now my honor to introduce our first grantee speaker of the evening, Patrick Marley Rump, Executive Director of Literacy for Environmental Justice. Come on up, Patrick. There we go. Get you started here. Literacy for Environmental Justice promotes ecological health and community development in Southeast San Francisco through urban greening and workforce development opportunities. And Patrick will tell us more.
Yeah. First of all, thank you for having us, and it's delighting. It's honor to be here. It's really exciting to be a new grantee of SV2, and I thought I'd do a little bit of storytelling tonight, talk a little bit about our organization, and keep the program moving. So once again, Patrick Rump, Literacy for Environmental Justice, our mission. We were established in 1998. I've had the honor of being with LEDGE since 1999. So I've kind of grown up with the organization, so to speak. We really work at that intersection of workforce development and eco-literacy. So really promoting, teaching the environment in an urban setting, and really making the work culturally relevant and accessible and barrier-free, and doing environmental work in our environment versus taking people from the city and going to the environment. And looking for ways to engage people in that work. So we have job training programs, whatnot. Through doing the work, we also look to make actual change in the community. So urban greening projects, and we look to cultivate community stewardship in our neighborhood. We do that through the workforce development and employment opportunities for youth, primarily in Bayview, Hunters Point, and Southeast San Francisco. Really quickly, I wanted to just share some of the victories that have happened in the last 20 years to kind of give some context to our work. In 2001, our organization and a coalition of other environmental justice organizations closed PG&E's Hunters Point power plant. This was a decade-long struggle to close the #1 source of air pollution in Southeast San Francisco. So we were really excited about that. In 2004, we opened up operations at Candlestick Point State Recreation Area. We built a native plant nursery there, which is growing tens of thousands of plants to do the greening that I spoke about. In 2007, we were also involved in food access and security issues with getting food in the neighborhood. Our Good Neighbor program was widely modeled and basically led to state legislation, which is changing the way people have food in liquor stores and other things in urban communities. In 2001, we had the milestone of building the Eco Center at Heron's Head Park. This was the city's first net zero building and is a Platinum LEED certified environmental education center in the shadow of the power plant that I just spoke about. And in 2015, we were just awarded a $1 million grant to do some capital improvements at Candlestick. One of them includes building one of only 2 environmental campsites in the entire city of San Francisco, restoring tons of acreage of waterfront land and expanding our native plant nursery. So before I start, oh wait, I'm gonna go back. I made a misclick here. I want to share a personal story about one of the youth who was a part of all of this work. Zachariah Jefferson, I had the opportunity to meet him in 2008, and this is him in person in his senior year working in our workforce development program.
There is wildlife out there, and you don't have to go 5 hours drive to see squirrels or to see coyote or to see rabbits. And that kind of connects me to the other parks because I have those same features so close to me. And that's been able to take me places like Point Reyes, so I can see the elk, Ana Nuevo, to see the seals.
So this is Zach in 2008. This is him 2 years into our program. When he came to our program, he had been out of high school for 5 years. He met one of our environmental educators on a field trip, and that led to a job at Ledge, which led to a career pathway in the environment. For the last couple of years, he's been working for national parks. It's helped stabilize his life. As he's been restoring the land, he's been finding his voice. He's also been restoring his sense of place and his connection to the environment. And we're really excited to say we just offered Zach a full-time position with Ledge, so the story continues, and it looks like he will be joining our team with a real solid job here in a couple weeks. And just looking forward. If you guys are learning, if you want to learn a little bit more, here's our website. I'll be around later today. You can also reach out to Anthony if you're interested in finding out about our programs. And lastly, if you have any questions, ask me.
Fantastic. Thank you, Patrick. And I believe there's also an event coming up at the end of October. For those of you on our newsletter, I'm not going to get the date right, but we'll have a chance. November 12th. Thank you. Where we can go see some of the work and I think help out with our families. So stay tuned for that. It is now my pleasure to invite the team from the Silicon Valley Urban Debate League up here. And this is a group. As I understand, commonly known as SVOODLE. Can everyone say that? SVOODLE. Great. SVOODLE brings debate programs to low-income schools in East Palo Alto, Redwood City, and San Jose. We are thrilled to have Monica Spear, Executive Director, Shauntrice Martin, the Program Director, and Santiago Pacheco, Student Debate Captain. So thank you all for being here.
Good evening, everyone. There we are. I'm Monica Spear, Executive Director of the Silicon Valley Urban Debate League. I come to this position having devoted my entire professional life to empowering underserved youth, and I'm honored to lead an organization that shares that commitment. Through the smart sport of debate, the Silicon Valley Urban Debate League helps low-income and at-risk youth tap the power of their voices to compete, excel, and change the world. Having 3 speakers this evening represents our organizational belief in the power of voice and our specific commitment to supporting and amplifying the voices of youth we serve, including the incredible Santiago, who you will hear from in just a moment. To realize our mission and channel the tremendous power of voice into lifelong achievement, SVOODLE uses a school-based program that includes competitive debate, leadership, development, and curriculum innovation. We create deep partnerships with schools to stimulate untapped talent, create a competitive community, foster college success, and make smart cool. This model is critical to engaging our target population of low-income and first-generation students to equip them with the skills, attitudes, and behaviors necessary to overcome obstacles and realize their full potential. The students of SVOODLE are 95% of color and 82% low income, who use debate as an underpinning to achieve high school and college graduation, career success, and meaningful community leadership. SVOODLE provides a foundation for lifelong success by offering underserved youth an engaging approach to obtaining academic excellence and the support of mentors and networks as they navigate school, college, and career. Very proudly, I report that 100% of our seniors last year all graduated high school and are now attending college. Now I'd like to invite to the microphone Shauntrice Martin.
Hi, everyone. There are a lot of you, and I'm nervous. I'll just put that out there. So I want to start off by just saying that I was the first person in my family to go to college. My mother was a janitor, and before that, we had about 6 generations of poor sharecroppers in Mississippi. So the idea that I was even graduating high school and then going to college was fascinating, and I was super excited until I got there. And it was really hard, and I didn't have anyone. And debate for me changed all of that. I had a family, I had a support system. Before joining debate, I had a 2.0 GPA in college my freshman year because I gave up. I wouldn't show up to class because it was hard. I didn't feel supported. And through debate, and mostly the threats of my debate coach, I pulled it together, and I went on to do a lot of great things, traveled all around the world doing debate. And for me, the reason why I came to Silicon Valley specifically is because I see a great need. People hear Silicon Valley whenever we present, they're like, oh, that's like the rich tech place. Why would you have an urban debate league? Well, there are pockets of poverty. There are pockets of talent that are untapped. And that's really why I'm here. I'm so excited. I could have been at one of any of the 22 urban debate leagues around the country, but the innovation, the passion, and the drive of the students here in Silicon Valley is unlike any other. And I've worked with kids in Atlanta, New York, Belize, all these places. But I can honestly say, not just because I work here and they will be upset with me otherwise, but they are truly fascinating. And even the students with the worst situations. We have a student who got evicted from her home unexpectedly and was out 6 months rent from some unfair practices, and she still went to the debate tournament. She continues to recruit people because she sees a light at the end of the tunnel because of debate. East Palo Alto is my region, and it's closest to my heart, although East San Jose is beautiful too. What I've seen though is even with all the issues that exist, through debate and through the connections that we've been able to help students attain and cultivate, that they feel like, okay, my voice matters and I have a lot to say. Some, like Santi, have a whole lot to say, which we love. So yeah, I just really, I'm fascinated by my students, and it motivates me to be even better in my job because I know that they're the future leaders and I want to be on their good side when they become senators, presidents, CFOs, like many of you in the room tonight. So it's a really amazing opportunity to not just tell students what to do, but also to empower them to do whatever it is they want to do. So it's almost like I'm their assistant, I feel, most of the time. So now I'll introduce one of our students from East Palo Alto, young Mr. Santiago Pacheco. So if you can give him a round of applause as he comes up.
Hello, I'm Santiago. First off, I'd like to start off by saying thank you to SV2 for their kind and generous contributions to SVUDO. Growing up as a child, I was always getting looks of disapproval from my parents because I was always quitting activities. I was never able to stick to anything, and I was always finding excuses for why I did what I did, and I was always getting in trouble. And this continued on into elementary school. I played soccer as a child and I quit 3 times. Once I joined karate and I quit after like a month because I just, that's what I would see, that's what I would feel comfortable doing because that's what I kept doing. And throughout elementary school, during tests, during big assignments, I would just give up and throw away papers and not finish tests. And this was something that I saw going on in my life and I felt like I needed to change. And this was a change that was made possible because of debate. When I joined debate, I found that my voice mattered and that people cared what I had to say. And debate has given me resources and has let me meet people that will help me get my voice out and to make the change that I feel like I want to make. Debate has helped me improve my public speaking skills. I was able to speak in front of my whole school to try to run for student body president. Before that, I would not be able to do this because I'm an outgoing person, but I get shy to speak in front of crowds. And because of debate, I was able to power through and leave a mark on my fellow students. And debate has given me the resources I found I require, because when I grow up, I want to be a lawyer in 10 or less years. And because of debate, I have gathered the resources. Debate has got me a legal mentor, and I don't know what I would be doing right now without debate. Thank you.
So thanks in large part to investors such as you, the Silicon Valley Urban Debate League has experienced tremendous growth and impact since our inception in 2014. We've grown from just 2 schools and 50 students to 7 schools with a projected 350 students this year, serving services spanning from the peninsula to San Jose. Like Santi, SVUDO students are actively using the power of voice to serve as leaders, engage with mentors, and develop networks to ensure academic and lifelong success. On behalf of all of us at SVUDO, especially the students we serve, we are grateful for the support of SV2 as we vision and plan to broaden and deepen our reach and impact. We are proud that SV2 is a part of this exciting Savutal journey and look forward to the many ways together we will empower at-risk youth to use the power of their voices to realize their full potential, advocate for themselves and others, and change the world. Thank you.
Finally, let's welcome up Cristi Hegranes. Where are you? Right there. Founder and executive director of Global Press Institute. Global Press Institute, GPI, trains and employs women in developing media markets to produce high-quality local news coverage.
Thank you. Thank you so much. It's an honor to be here tonight with the SV2 community. Global Press is an international journalism revolution. Over the last 10 years, we've systematically evaluated every aspect of the craft of global journalism in order to provide you, our readers, with a more ethical, authentic way to access stories. Stories like this one. This is a 4-part series that was published on our award-winning platform, Global Press Journal, just yesterday. This is stories about human rights violations faced by Nepalese migrant workers in Qatar. But the story behind the story is really what we're here tonight to talk about, because these stories were produced by these 2 women, young Nepali women in their 20s. 5 years ago, Shilu Mandanhar and Yam Kumari Kandel came to a Global Press Institute training program in Kathmandu, Nepal. Now, a Global Press, a training to employment model is central to our mission. This is how it works. We provide a rigorous 24-module, 6-month training program that takes women from developing markets all around the world and trains them to become ethical, authentic, professional journalists. These are not bloggers. These are not citizen journalists. These are world-class journalists who are covering the stories that our international media outlets are not covering. After graduating from the training program, we provide employment for 100% of our training graduates who go on to work for Global Press Journal, our award-winning publication. So for the last 5 years, Yam and Shilu have been working at Global Press Journal with the supportive and robust editorial structure that includes editors, fact-checkers, copy editors, story coaches, mentors. Over that time, they have become powerful journalists in their own right. In January of this year, Yam and Shilu went to Qatar, a Persian Gulf country notorious for its lack of press freedom. And Yam and Shilu were able to do what the Associated Press has not been able to do, or the BBC, or many other international news outlets. They were able to get the on-the-ground story, precisely because of who they are. Yam and Shilu went into Qatar, and they walked right into the Nepalese labor camps to document the filthy, cramped conditions that these migrant workers were living in. They even managed to get to the hospital bedsides of more than a dozen Nepalese migrant workers who had been in comas or vegetative states, some for as long as a decade, because of workplace injuries, many of which happened in new construction like the 2022 FIFA World Cup Center. This is reporting that Qatar does not want you to hear. But this is reporting that because of who our reporters are, they possess unique access to get the story. My favorite part of what they did in Qatar was so smart. First and foremost, of course, they conducted all of their interviews in Nepali. Then they found a Nepalese taxi driver who picked them up and would pick up their sources. And for days, they just drove up and down the waterfront in Doha, conducting the interviews from the safety of the taxi, driven by a Nepalese man. This is the kind of innovative reporting that Global Press stands behind. Now, this series of stories was published just 24 hours ago. And in that 24 hours, the stories have already been read by more than 2 million people across 100 countries, directly through Global Press Journal and our social media channels, but mostly through Global Press News Service, our innovative syndication division, where we partner with media, education, corporate, and NGO outlets to make sure that our stories are reaching the widest possible audience in order to have the widest possible impact. Yam and Shilu beautifully represent the hybrid social enterprise that is Global Press. Graduates of our training program were able to ensure that they have high quality, ethical, authentic journalism, going on to work for Global Press Journal, where we prioritize accuracy above all things. In fact, we've run just 14 corrections in 10 years. Then on to Global Press News Service, where their powerful journalism reaches millions of people across our world. But it's not just Yam and Shilu. Over the last 10 years, Global Press has trained and now employs 176 women across 26 countries, all of whom work for our independent news bureaus, supported by our editors. The theme tonight, of course, is voice. And voice is central to everything that we do at Global Press, our mission, our vision, our values, but also the core of our training program. We are training these women who come to us from diverse backgrounds, socioeconomic, education, religious, tribes, all for the same purpose of telling their communities' stories, giving voice to people who otherwise would not find it through traditional media outlets. So I leave you tonight with the voices of Global Press reporters from around the world.
My voice is como el césped que crece quizás en las montañas. It's like pebble, como pasto. You know how when you throw a pebble into the sea?
My voice is important.
I mean, even the pebble itself doesn't really know the impact it makes.
We are pressuring to the policymaker.
My voice is a gem, a Sri Lankan gem.
I like to compare my voice to a needle.
Being a gem, though it comes from a rough end, it can show its brilliance through its facets.
That pulls together different fabrics and pieces of a cloth to make something beautiful.
I think my voice is like a tree that bears fruits every season for people to feed on.
Yo percibo mi voz como la danza.
I think I am that tree. Those fruits are the information that I seek, that I get. And when people feed on it, they feel full.
My voice is like a mirror. Es una pasión que me llena y que me nutre y que siempre trato de transmitir con los pies y con mis manos.
A reflection of things that I see and I come across, stories that have to be told to the world.
Wow. Thank you, Cristi, and thank you to all of our grantees for being with us tonight, for the work you do each and every day to improve lives. We're really honored to be part of your work. So the need for our amplified voices and our work together has never been greater or more powerful. As we leave here tonight, let's all commit to use the power of voice as individuals, as an organization, as a community, to build a truly equitable society where everyone thrives.
And thank you everyone for coming this evening. Really the power of SV2 is in the community, and all of you are part of the community, so thank you for being part of that. Also, I want to thank our two event sponsors that have made this evening possible, the Haas Social Impact Collective and the Silicon Valley Community Foundation. So at this point, we're going to adjourn and go back out to the patio for coffee, dessert, drinks, and more socializing. So thank you.
Have a good evening, everyone.